Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series and a very special event, 300 YCS. Can you believe it, Joe?
It's really hard to believe that this game has been going on that long, but it's really a proud moment to be part of an event like this, celebrating so much Yu-Gi-Oh! History.
Oh, I know. We were talking about some of our Yu-Gi-Oh! History, right? I didn't realize that some of my old content was featuring an illustrious hero duelist like yourself. My goodness, my goodness. My first one was the 24th. Do you remember your first one?
Oh, it was actually in Boston. It's been a while since we've gone to Boston for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series, but I remember all the way back in 2006 it was the first one. It was about 20 minutes from where I grew up, and then that really just sparked a love that I already had for a game, but love for the competitive scene in a way that I couldn't even imagine. And from there I've been through just dozens and dozens and dozens over the course of the game's history, and the fact that now we're all the way up to 300, it's really just an illustrious moment.
Yeah, I guess we'll be old grandpas by the time the 500th comes up, but maybe it'll be here before you know it. But it's just so neat to see the community really come together and have all these stories, and some competitors who were here from the Wayback Machine, and other competitors like our current world champion who's only been here for like 2 years. This is like when worlds collide. It's just such a cool event, such a cool event.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Billy mentioned it earlier, but the very first actual YCS by that name was in Virginia itself, so it's really iconic to come back here now from the 76th YCS all the way out to the 300th in the same state.
That's right, because we did have a name change, but we're also still keeping the count. So the first event was the first event, but the 76 YCS is technically also the first YCS. But yeah, a lot of history here in Richmond. Actually, this was where the first time I ever got up on stage with you guys was right here in Richmond, Virginia. So I guess this is just a fabled town for a very legendary game. Good stuff.
And in addition to just the history, here we are about to commentate some of the first games of the Genesys format at the YCS level.
So we are calling it the Genesys Proto-YCS, but it is really a YCS. The vibes are the same. You know, we saw all of the cool deck lists, so many different decks throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history. They're actually being represented here. And that's what I really like about Genesys is some people think it's like, oh, you know, it's just the decks that can't make it. No, there's some really, really good stuff here. And strategies that we haven't seen in a while, too.
I know, we looked over some of the deck lists and just the names of the decks, and the pie chart for this particular event is going to be overwhelmingly diverse.
Well, let's talk about the duelists we have here. We are seeing two decks that actually really can do well in the main event, the advanced format. Dirac Fire King, we've seen not only Master Duel, but in the advanced format. And then Paleozoic, haven't seen it as recently, but obviously a great control deck. So this is going to be a battle of Dirac Fire King trying to clear the board and Paleozoic trying to hold on for dear life and keep things under control.
Yeah, obviously we've seen Fire King recently. Typically we see Fire King incorporated with Snake Eye cards. That's really what it was at its max potential over the course of the last couple of years. Here, as you mentioned, they'll be combining the strategy of the Fire Kings. Well, Diracs.
It's neat to see the Diracs, because really what you get from the Dirac, because this is a small Dirac package, but the whole goal is to try to get Dirac Astro either on the field or into the graveyard, because you can, of course, banish it with another Dirac and bring out Dirac Meteor, and the comet is coming for those dinosaurs. That Dirac Meteor destroys all cards on the field and will special summon the tuners, so you can get another combo going from there. And who loves cards being destroyed more than Fire Kings?
I know, it's a great synergy. And especially against a deck that's really playing to the field, right? Some decks try to maintain hand advantage. Paleozoic's the complete opposite of that. An ideal opening turn for Paleozoics is truly to set 5.
And just pass, yeah. It's really neat to see Genesys come alive like this. You know, obviously, if you're unfamiliar with the rules, just as a quick reminder, you might notice our field is different here. No links and no pendulum, so there is no extra monster zone. Of course, the cards are pointed here, so I'll probably pull up the points list so we can figure that out. It looks like these duelists haven't completely used all their points, though. Looks like Adrian over here used 98 total points, whereas Graylin went fully in with 100. I'm not going to spoil any surprises, but we'll see where those points were spent soon enough.
Yeah, it's not just Paleozoic. I'm going to kind of wait to see us all note what that face-down monster is, because there's an array of old-school frogs in Adrian's deck that I have some affinity for, especially if you have gone throughout the history of this game and been playing for decades. There are some OG frogs in this deck.
Yeah, there are. And it makes sense, too. I mean, they're all level 2 Aqua monsters, so it kind of helps. But let's go back to the dinosaurs here. We're activating Fire King Island. And probably going to try to destroy something. I mean, with Adrian, you've got so many options. You can banish cards. You can flip stuff face down. The Paleozoic Trap lineup has a lot of options here, but let's see what we do first with Graylin.
He has no hand, so something like Dinomischus wouldn't work.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're not going to be able to drop anything from the hand here. But speaking of dropping, get rid of Grunix there. And what are we destroying? It's good to see Low. We love Voiceless Voice.
That is a deck we could see this week.
We actually could. There's some weird stuff out there.
Looks like we're going to get Ponix, though.
And a gorgeous Ponix it is.
Yeah, recently upgraded. I believe that is a Starlight Rare from the tins. So the interesting thing about watching and preparing for Genesys is you might be so familiar with some of the play sequences from a couple years ago. Things are just going to look a little bit different here.
I do love that because it lets old decks kind of have a breath of fresh air, and it also lets new strategies that weren't possible before really come to life. Because, you know, I think with the frogs, that's a great example. Some of these frogs hit the Forbidden List pretty fast, and being able to combine them with cards that have really proven themselves, because Paleo did great things at its time when it first released. But it looks like we're just going to go ahead and...
Looks like it's one of the Paleo trap cards. It's really sometimes hard to tell from the image. Looks like this is going to be one that sends it to the graveyard.
That does kind of get the combo started because you really do need to take advantage of the fact. And so it's going to be Paleozoic Morella.
Wow, he's sending Elemental Burst.
Wait, what?
Talk about being able to dig through maybe what cards you would call at home kind of the bulk pile, just this big bin of cards. I know everybody growing up probably had one of those, to find Elemental Blast.
Well, he's not going to have all the different attributes to be able to activate that card. To me, that signals that he's probably using transaction rollback in order to like pay half his life points in order to use that trap from the graveyard. But he also now has a Paleozoic Morella in the graveyard, so the next trap he activates is also going to get him a tiny little level 2 monster unaffected by monster effects. And that's important considering the Fire King certainly has a lot of monster effects here. But it looks like we'll use the Ponix to go ahead and search. Typically this is Fire King Sanctuary, but maybe since Paleozoic does a lot of banishment, you just get something like Fire King Skyburn or the Circle. See what he grabs. It's also wild too because in Genesys, like, any card is legit. You know, there's no, people talk about not seeing things in the format, but obviously we're going to see that, so. Oh, we're doing Barong too. Another great card, being able to search out another Fire King on the next standby phase after it was destroyed. And Barong is not somebody you see that actively in like recent Fire King lists, but Genesys has a different tempo. I like to say everything resolves in Genesys, right? Because you have to spend points on things like Ash Blossom Joyous Spring if you choose to use it, even Max C if you choose to use it. Yep, La Cucaracha does exist here.
And of course, there was the increase to the Droll and Lockbird as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it gets,
I want to say Droll and Lockbird is at 25 points now, and that's another tell as you're playing in Genesys. If they have cards that stop you, they probably don't have any pointed cards that like do something to you, so they have to make that trade-off. So it's really great for the deck-building geniuses out there.
One thing is that
it is kind of interesting. You previewed this matchup and talking a little bit about Jirak's ability to wipe the field with Stereo. It's actually funny now that Elemental Burst is in the graveyard, that Adrian's kind of threatening that with the transaction rollback.
We'll just have to rewind back to...
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we're just going to have to...
Okay, so it does look like we got to rewind a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Genesys is a little interesting too because you're going to find yourself in these unfamiliar play lines like you were suggesting. It's not like people have 300 YCSs of Genesys experience. This is basically the first major for this tournament series.
Yeah, this one goes back, and then that's going to activate in separate chain. So, but we're still going to rewind back to...
Oh, so it's just when this is activating? Gotcha,
So,
okay.
we're just going to rewind to those triggers.
These are still in hand. That's in the extra deck. So now, this is still set.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
so nothing major, just duelist at work here.
Just choose, basically...
So this is chain one.
Yeah, that can chain one, and it's just the chain.
Pick one of those.
They're rewinding a few steps here.
You're good.
All right, so
and still then I'll still do the Morella chain.
yeah, so then summon.
So you're good there.
Okay, and then on summon, add this stand.
You're adding
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
okay.
that's perfectly fine.
It does not look like he did search Skyburn.
There you go.
So it looks like it's just going to be a procedural error minor, right? Ponix and Garunix can't be both triggered on the same destruction. It's one of those effects where it's a private knowledge area, typically is like the unified theme of that. If it's two cards in a private knowledge area trying to trigger off the same thing, they typically cannot. Great example, and kind of for my own Genesys deck building, you can't do the Divine Emperor, the Heavenly Prison, and Amazement Administrator Arlecchino at the same time. You got to pick and stick between one of the two.
The Ponix, or destroying Garunix.
Destroying Gurnix.
So we are going to destroy Garunix to bring out the Kieran. But that Jirak Megalo is already starting to get stuff set up.
It's not cost, but no.
It is unfortunate
the
for
effect
Adrian.
also,
Okay.
you'll summon
He is
one
going
out.
to try to combine transaction rollback with
activating,
Elemental
the
Burst. He's
hiking
playing
Garunix.
against probably one of the worst decks.
Do you have anything else on
consider
that
a port wipe like that?
Oh, sorry, still in chain on that.
You might try to have to
No.
position it such that a lot of the Fire King effects have already been activated and take advantage of that.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting because, again, he can send a Dirac monster from his deck or extra deck, and we did see there's the Synchro monster. So he basically has the setup now for Astro being the one that you send to the graveyard, and then you just banish those two, and all of a sudden you got Meteor. Nibiru the Primal being maybe not as good in Genesis, but it's nice when you can basically call its little brother.
We'll destroy Aviator.
Do you mind if I read this one?
Oh, and Arvada too. You know, it's funny because you almost like remember these cards as they first hit the field, and being able to have a monster effect negate that also destroys one of your cards, basically progressing your strategy even further. I don't know if Paleozoic's going to be able to hold in there, but it's got all the cards it needs in the sense that just face downs usually mean negate, flip, banish, etc.
New chain, I can activate.
I mean, there's
Aviator.
you have over 30 trap cards in his deck, and I don't want to spoil too many of them. There's some really spicy ones, so you know, any single card could really just totally shift the outcome here. So we'll kind of watch as Adrian decides to sequence. Does that look like an Ice Dragon's Prison?
Oh, it does actually, which is kind of weird because you don't necessarily have that much of type synergy within the Fire King strategy, especially with the dinosaurs too, right? Because you've got Beasts, Beast Warriors, Wing Beasts, and now you have dinosaurs in the mix, so it's going to be a little difficult there. And this is kind of a, you know, we always make the jokes about Yu-Gi-Oh players reading, but it is funny to see, you know, a lot of these cards you are going to be unfamiliar with because I'll tell you, this Genesis event is wide open in terms of format. Representation from every era of the game and representation from eras that didn't even exist.
So which is this one here? Is this Trapaholic?
Gotcha.
It does look like Trapaholic, so he's going to be destroying his own trap since he has 3 or more spells or traps. So he'll get to set a trap that can be activated this turn, which is huge for this deck too. And you get wow,
there's
look
the
what he
transaction
destroyed.
rollback. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, he's feeling like he's threatening transaction rollback, even though it wasn't evident that the.
But I didn't know he already had
there.
it. That's huge, and so that means Elemental Burst in the year of our Raw 2026.
It's just a matter again of sequencing it so that you don't trigger the Fire Kings.
Yeah, because
it's hard to do.
It's a good card, but you almost don't want to destroy all cards your opponent controls.
Yeah, it really needs to kind of be one of the last things that you do when you have full hand knowledge. And some of the Fire King effects have already been activated.
Timing will certainly help there.
I'm curious what he's going to set. And there's just so many different cards in this deck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the sky's the limit. This is such a powerful card. 14 points, well spent. And the transaction rollback taking up 21 points as well. And so you can start to see that his combo gets used up pretty fast with those cards. I love the point value system too, because you do get to play anything you want. You just can't play an unfair version of anything you want. So I guess if you want to play unfair Yu-Gi-Oh, sorry friends. Still fair games here.
Skyburn destroys these 3.
Or does it? It doesn't go off now, right? Because the target's gone.
No, it does. So sorry.
So we're still going to destroy with the Skyburn. Judge explaining.
On the field.
Is that
okay? Well,
it's
balance of judgment?
Destroy them, not destroy those targets.
Yeah, just like he may have said a balance of judgment.
That is
so
exactly
you'll destroy these
from the art.
Your chicken will summon.
That's another one that's a blast from the past.
Totally is.
And then just the effect of Kieran goes off now. Destruction.
Sorry, 1 second.
I mean, even just saying the classic Runix, which doesn't make every Fire King list still,
so these
still
3 get
popular
destroyed,
though,
and then
but
resolutions. Kieran's other
so
destruction.
you're triggering Kieran? Okay. I will.
Oh, I think we're about to do it.
Am I just setting the
Yeah.
balance?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
He's considering that transaction rollback. Pay half. Grab any trap card effect from your graveyard that's a normal trap. A lot of pressure too, right? You want to win the very first Genesis Proto YCS.
Chain Magical Idol Soul.
Oh, Magical Idol
Since
Soul.
Since a monster was summoned through an effect of my trap card, I can special summon him from the grave.
Okay.
Or Magical Idol Soul.
Yes.
So that also, if I recall correctly, is a level 2 body, but I think it's also a tuner monster.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool.
Very curious to see how he set up his extra deck here.
So that goes. We'll go.
Did you resolve the effect of Sacred Runix? It was to send, like the on-summon effect.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It just
Just making sure.
No, you're fine. Yeah, thank you.
Even the judge is like,
we'll
there's a lot of
just,
Yu-Gi-Oh happening here. No, we've got it under control, friends.
Barong.
Bring up Runix.
B-A-R-O-N-G.
And then we'll go ahead and with the following, we'll go and destroy this.
Oh, yeah, because Kieran does special summon and destroy a card in the field, and that's very helpful when it's your own card you want to destroy.
I'm sorry?
Enter battle.
Entering battle.
Yeah, battle's fine.
Battle phase, sorry. We'll just go attack into the soil.
Adrian taking a second to think here. Haven't used up all their effects, but we're doing it. Banish transaction rollback. Paying half your life points, 4,000.
It halves. Ice Dragon's Prison.
It halves, right?
So it is banish, copy the effect of a trap card in my graveyard.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm going to target the Ice Dragon's Prison, and I'm going to use that to target
interesting.
Okay,
So all the hype over the Elemental Burst is
So
almost
this will
misplaced
summon,
because
and
he's
then
just
as
using
part of
Ice Dragon's Prison to just banish both of them to protect both.
forget,
So
this
pay
is
half
like
to
half,
put
right?
yourself in a
It
good
also has
position,
to-
but
Yeah,
also
yeah,
stop
yeah.
those effects because he didn't destroy anything.
And he banishes them, which I think is advantageous in the long run. I think obviously, clearly, once you realize you're playing against Fire King,
Main 2.
Elemental
and
Burst
then,
is
main phase
not
two,
going to
and then,
necessarily line
phase.
up quite as favorably as it does.
Doesn't help quite as much as you'd help.
All right. You said end phase is good?
Yeah.
All right, living life on the edge. Adrian draws.
Standby phase, yes. Ponyx effect goes off. To add to hand.
This is going to be a big standby phase, though. I believe it's
And,
going to be Garunix,
community.
Barong, and Ponyx.
I will.
Maybe we just
Set
sent
one.
the Barong to the graveyard. We didn't actually activate its effect.
Set one.
So we're just going to set one and pass.
Set one right now, so it shouldn't. Pass.
That's a trap deck for you. Oh, here it comes. We were talking about this behind the scenes. I really wanted you to see the Dirac Meteor come down because this is such a cool vibe for this deck.
We'll use a Asteros effect.
Yep.
Quick play effect.
It's
Here you go.
banish it and a Jirac to blow something up, right?
Just summons out a Dirac Ash Meteor
Well, Adrian's ahead of the game because he's
Yeah.
going to blow something up either way.
and counts as.
Oh, not that one. That one.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's the last.
No, you're
effect
good,
on
you're
it,
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it okay?
All right, so here we go.
These two.
And this is something that's very legit in the advanced format too, and even Master Duel. I've been seeing a lot of Dirac Fire King hybrids.
And
This is a very
then,
narrow package that he's done, but it
anything
gets
on
it
the summon,
done.
And then activate the summon effect. Draw all cards on field.
Oh no, we get to see what the face down was. What was Adrian using to protect themselves?
And then the effect of when
His
it's
balance of
destroyed,
judgment's not gonna
special
net him.
summon
Oh, it's just the
either
monsters.
Meteor
That's
or-
right.
don't have
I got too excited.
Yeah. So and then yeah. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, discard two.
Oh,
is it all
Nibiru's
cards?
little
Yeah.
brother after all. No, it is destroy all cards on the field. No, destroy all cards.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there's the traps. Okay. Thought it was
Alright,
hallucinating
Micah?
there, but
You're still summoning, aren't you?
It's special summon tuner from the graveyard. So,
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, there's no tuner in his graveyard. Great for
draw.
pulling out Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but in
Draw
Genesis
phase.
format, not seen as
Standby.
often.
Anything. Main. We'll go normal summon Ponyx.
Yeah.
Activate on summon.
You're good.
I feel like he's got to be able to get to 4,000 damage pretty fast in a
We'll
Fire King
add,
deck. You know,
Fire King
just two
Sanctuary.
bodies on the field that are the main boss monsters of the deck. That should be enough to close it out. And so that was the tempo we came into, you know.
You're good. You're good.
Activate
Adrian
Fire King
all about
Sanctuary.
controlling the field and putting a lot of cards
the
there.
effective-
Graylin all about explosive Fire King dinosaur plays. And
Yeah.
we're seeing this deck can still compete.
It just seems
We'll go,
unfortunate looking at the matchup.
Fire
You know,
King Island
Adrian
for Ponyx.
didn't go for the Elemental Burst, but that seems like a really great sub-plan that he has that at any point doesn't line up well against Fire Kings. And then Graylin has a board wipe that lines up really well against trap-based strategies that he can time out of his graveyard. It's not like one of those that you would have to go and do in your main phase, for instance.
Yeah, it's not telegraphed. The opponent doesn't get to like play against it and be like, okay, you've done the thing, now I'm going to play. And there are going to be very interesting matchups we see. This almost is like the anime where you just don't know who's going to walk into Battle City here at the 300th YCS. And so we use the Ponyx to get the Fire King Sanctuary. And then we're going to destroy Kieran here. Trapaholic, certainly a great card, but could not close things out.
We'll go activate Kieran's effect.
Yeah.
Summon Avatar.
So Arvada hit the field here. And he's pretty close.
Thinking-
Might be worried about something in the graveyard there that I'm not seeing, but I mean, from this perspective, Adrian's got no hands.
Use the other
Pretty
effect
good.
to destroy. So it special summons and destroys a card.
Oh, so he's going to fully resolve the Kieran to destroy his own card to get the additional effect of Arvada.
Avatar's effect, special summon Kieran, but negates its effect on field. We'll go enter battle.
Yeah.
So swing for I'll attack directly for 2,400. Yep. And then this does get the because I did destroy.
It's game regardless. I'm at 4K.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry.
Raylan couldn't see it. Like Adrian knows what's going on. That's so funny.
Don't need to calculate the exact attack strength of an individual monster that's attacking per game. Adrian's just wanting to see if he does it.
The math is bigger. I'm bigger than you.
Yep. And that is the drawback of transaction rollback.
Pay everything to stay in the game, but I think if he didn't, I mean, you're still kind of getting hit the same way by the Drac Meteor. So I don't think Adrian did anything wrong. He just played the hand he was dealt.
And they pause when we send the players ready.
I do like the ability though to. It's a 2-card combo, but Morella plus rollback. It's an interesting 1-2 combo.
A lot of options you got there. Just because, you know, any of these cards I'm pointing to behind the scenes, Trapaholic can turn into.
2-time world champion and 6-time world's competitor, Ryan Yu.
But great action here again in our first Proto YCS. Duelist accessing the side deck. Now the side deck is another strange thing because, again, if you're not familiar with Genesys, the standard is the 100-point cap. And some cards have points, most cards don't. But your side deck is included in that overall 100-point cap. And I don't see both duelists using points, but one of them, I won't say who, has some cards hidden.
Yeah. One of these duelists has allocated a pretty good chunk of the 100 points to the side deck. The other has not allocated a single point, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So that is
Tune in to find out soon, right?
NAWCQ 2025 top 8.
Right, duelists getting set up here.
Mario D'Amico.
Certainly historic, you know, we were talking about our early YCSs, you know, maybe at the next major event they'll be talking about, like, well, I remember in 2026, back when I was a kid, you know, I won my first Genesys YCS with either Paleozoic or maybe Dirac Fire King. It's just history in the making, every one of these matches this weekend.
In 100 YCSs from now, we'll be talking about 100 Genesys Proto YCS equivalents.
Brian Peterson. The first person to register for the 300 event.
Both duelists seem pretty locked in. You know, Adrian had good sense about it. You know, hey, I'm already at 4,000. I know this isn't going to go well. I have no cards. You just have to put something on the board. Grayland, a little bit of tunnel vision there. You know, lost track of the fact he was already winning. Still won. Didn't drop anything. But,
maybe he wasn't 100% like on his mind aware of the transaction rollback cost.
Yeah, that's fair, because, you know, it's not a card you see that often anymore. Labyrinth played it a lot in the advanced format when it had access to things like Dimensional Barrier. With Dimensional Barrier forbidden, we're not seeing as many Labyrinth decks.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys know.
Labyrinth has taken a pretty
leave it face down, it's fine.
steady drop because of that.
Players are ready.
Oh, too many.
Still a good deck. Shout out to
Yeah,
Labyrinth
still a
fans
good
out
deck,
there.
absolutely. I just think if that's your game plan, the Apothis strategy, I think, lines up a little bit better currently.
Yeah,
if that's just the nature of the game plan that you're going for a given YCS. So I understand the shift in popularity.
Timer's paused, so you guys are not losing this game.
Looks like players are ready to go. We're just waiting for the green light. We're ready. And in a moment here, we'll see if Grayland can close out another fiery duel or if Adrian's going to make the comeback with the tiny little aqua monsters. I guess this is kind of a fire-water matchup. We don't get those every day.
Oh, this is true.
Although they're on the wrong sides, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's a clean burning flame.
Thinking about this from Adrian's perspective, you know, it seemed like Ice Dragon's Prison was definitely one of the better cards for him.
Yeah, I was totally wrong when I thought that it was going to be mismatched because of all the different types. That really saved his life multiple times.
Dino Miscus can be good. Vanish, right? That could be good. I'm trying to think from his perspective what type of traps he's going to prioritize. A card like Magmatic Punishment is a pretty common card in this. Might not line up as well.
Well, looks like we're getting back into it.
Oh, you're good.
Main phase 1.
Is that a spell card I see?
I think it might be Tune.
Trap Tantalizing Tune.
Trap Tantalizing Tune.
Wow.
Discarding a Rise of Full Height. A Rise to Full Height, rather.
Looks like he's rising now, drawing 2 cards. Heard seeing a lot of play in Duel Links, actually. Traptrix is huge in Duel Links right now in a way that's just mind-blowing. So is B-Trooper, actually.
Yeah, Traptrix has had its time in Advanced Constructed before.
Oh, yeah, we talked about the history of the YCSs. Man, 2014 was a good year for Traptrix.
Yep.
But taking a moment here, Adrian peering into his hands. Probably is some version of set 4 pass.
Yep. The question here is, if he keeps a card in his hand, it could be an indicator that he actually has Dino-Miscus.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so he actually keeps 2 cards in hand, so there could be an indicator there, as I mentioned, that he has Dino-Miscus.
Okay. My go?
Yeah.
All right. Draw?
Yep.
You know, for a Paleozoic deck, we
standby.
sure did not
You're
see
good
any
here.
Paleozoics in the field last duel.
No, only in the graveyard.
What about activating Fire King Sanctuary? Anything on activation?
Stop Sanctuary's access to the Fire King Island.
You're good.
We're not. Galen grabbing a powerful field spell here, protected from destruction by the Sanctuary. Adrian just kind of locked in here. Life is on the line in the sense that he loses this duel. It's still a Swiss tournament. It's not the start he may have wanted.
We'll go.
Looks like he might
We'll go activate Fire King
end up destroying the...
Island to destroy.
It's
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a fact. It's not.
So this is going to probably be the Dino-Miscus that I mentioned. As I said, the fact that he kept cards in his hand was a strong indicator that he had Dino-Miscus set.
Good read, Joe. Good read. So which card is he going to drop here? And this helps your strategy, too, considering you have transaction rollback. But it looks like, actually,
Poison Draw Frog. That was one of those iconic old-school frogs that I mentioned looking at Adrian's deck list that I'd be curious if he actually put onto the field. Again, the fact that he would have kept it in his hand, an indicator here that he needed something to pitch with his Dino-Miscus.
I'll be curious if we get an interview with either of these players. You know, did they pick this because they thought it was good or because they loved the deck from that era?
Yeah. For what it's worth, when Poison Draw Frog was finding its way into the YCSs, it was not combining itself with very many trap cards.
Yeah, that's fair.
Usually with 0 trap cards, a whole lot of monsters, and maybe some mass drivers.
Yeah.
Though I will say, Poison Draw Frog did make it into the very first YCS Top 32, the 76th one in Virginia. There was a copy of a frog-based combo deck, and of course it had 3 copies of Poison Draw Frog as an integral part of that deck's combo.
Well, you are the master of Yu-Gi-Oh! History, after all. That's cool, though. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you would send it off of Swap Frog. Like, actually off the field physically.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to draw.
Well, actually getting to use the effect of the Poison Draw Frog.
Yes, you would actually draw all 3 times off of the Poison Draw Frogs, because you'd bring them out with Substitute and Ronintonin. So you'd have all 3, and then you bring out your Swap Frogs one by one off of your Substitute, and you'd get to draw 3 cards.
And the send is from Mass Driver, too, right?
Well, the point was, if you ever drew Mass Driver in the deck, you would just win, because you'd have enough frogs to banish with Ronintonin. But in order to increase the likelihood of drawing Mass Driver, you'd get all the frogs out of your graveyard, then go through your Poison Draw Frogs when there are no more frogs left in your deck. It was all just cards like Murray of Greed and hand destruction cards that enable you to draw, or just be Mass Driver itself.
Set 2.
Well, speaking of historic turns, I don't know if this one's it. We're just going to set 2. I think Grayland's just going to pass.
Yeah, Dino-Miscus lines up really well against any strategy that inherently needs cards to be destroyed. Not that, you know, Fire Island in and of itself at that point in time really mattered in terms of its destruction. Sometimes its destruction effect comes up, but certainly not as first game action.
Yeah, when I play against Fire Kings, you know, you have that temptation to get rid of the Fire King Island because it will self-destruct the field. But a lot of times nowadays, that's a good thing for them. So it is tricky to play against this deck, but I think Adrian's timing was perfect. But I did see what appeared to be a Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill in the hand there from Grayland.
Yeah, that's an interesting inclusion. He might not have a lot of great options.
That makes
and
sense.
Also be somewhat unsure what Adrian's trying to do. I mean, it is not inconceivable that you do go into the extra deck with multiple Paleozoic traps becoming monsters onto the field. So maybe having a monster negate is potentially useful.
Adrian may think that most people would side deck those out against him, so that could catch him by surprise. But we're going to Skyburn here.
We'll go ahead and do so many options. It was in main phase 2 before.
Main phase 2, yeah. Main phase 1.
Oh, this is main phase 1, right?
Main phase 1 is no
Yeah.
battle.
Oh, yeah, then main phase 1. My bad, my bad.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
We'll go this
What
one.
if we go after the
Let's just
set
go with the new
monster
one. Yeah.
or
Sure.
the
The
new
spell
spell and
trap,
trap card?
So it looks like the spell trap.
All right.
I will say that
Paleozoic hits the grave.
All right.
So end phase.
battling 1-for-1 trap to trap is actually something that I think favors Adrian, because if we don't see any of the more high impact Fire Kings hit the field, then those traps in the graveyard just become potential resources for Adrian.
Yeah, you guys.
Because if that's a level
Okay,
2 monster set, which it very likely is, it could conceivably be something like maybe Duke Frog. All it takes is one activation of a Paleozoic, and now you've got the 2 level 2s on the field, and we can actually really start to see Adrian's strategy incorporate cards like, for instance, Totally Awesome.
Well, I don't think a huge threat was lost on Adrian's part because, you know, the only thing that particular Paleozoic does is return a banished card to the graveyard, and while that's helpful for the Paleozoic player, it's not determinative of the entire duel, so he's probably, well, hopefully in Adrian's case, has 2 decent options still face down. We don't know what that monster is yet.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, I don't know.
But he was able to at least cycle through his Ponix through that play.
Gotta get something
Yeah,
going.
from
Is that
Braylon's
a
perspective.
second Sanctuary?
Yeah, he actually is playing the full package of Sanctuaries.
Wow. That is not something you see every day. Usually it's just like 1/1.
You know,
But
I certainly recall when Fire King was being incorporated with Snake Eyes. I guess even there was a period of time where Fire King itself was a somewhat top contender. Sanctuary was not a card that you'd be terribly enthusiastic about drawing.
Yeah, but here we are. I guess because the grind game inherent with Genesys, again, like I said earlier, everything resolves because all your typical breaks take points. So usually a lot of duelists want to spend points on gas. They want to spend points on cards they can play or dominate the field with. So you use the second Sanctuary just to set more cards, and he does have a lot of Fire King cards here, more than most. So.
Overroot, targeting Fire King Island,
What?
Fire King Island, and
Yeah,
targeting Skyburn.
this is what Terror of the
This goes
Overroot,
to
I
the
believe
Yeah.
is this one.
And then this would get set on your field.
So he's going to
It's set?
reset,
Yes.
essentially, in exchange, one from the graveyard to one on the field.
What a wild trap card to use, but I guess just with all the options you have and hopefully getting access to your Paleozoic monsters too, like it's safe to try a lot of different things as a Paleozoic duelist in Genesys.
Okay, so this gets set, and then this. Oh, this gets sent, and then this gets set.
It is,
Okay.
you know,
Go,
it's
activate,
somewhat an indication of weakness if you have
Kins,
Overroot as your
We'll
only
destroy
interaction against Fire King Island.
True.
Because you have to set
This is in chain, right?
Yes,
the
in chain. Yeah,
Skyburn
main
in
phase
order
going
to make
back.
this play.
So
Skyburn
So you're giving
good.
them a quick play.
And then special summon it.
Taking a second to assess his options. I really wonder what those last 2 face-down cards are for Adrian because they could spell the difference between life and 0 life points.
This is still on the
Oh
field.
yeah, sorry.
It's not a.
Yeah.
But. You
I think he's
have
using Kieran, yeah.
in hand,
It was shifted over to the other side of the field too quickly, but we have Fire King High Avatar Kieran that's going to actually be able to destroy his Ponix.
Still in chain to that.
Okay.
All Daruma.
Oh,
Daruma,
So this is put everything on the board.
And now we
face
have
down. Sorry,
Daruma
all monsters
Cannon.
on the board face down.
Okay.
And then anything that remains face up gets sent to the graveyard.
Anything? Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
So you do need to actually have it face up on the field for it to be
I'm gonna
indicated as a
chain
fire
link
monster, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to resolve his Kieran now because
yeah.
his Ponix is going to be face down.
We'll go.
Really?
We'll go PD Crow.
Okay, DD Crow.
Yeah. Sure.
So the
Then
reason
this
you
gets
DD
set.
Crow is if you allow the
This
chain
does go off,
to can
and
pass back to Adrian, he can then activate a Paleozoic from the graveyard.
Yeah, so this gets
So this is
sent,
a way of
gets
chain
set,
blocking the Paleozoic effects.
And then Fire King when it gets sent to grave.
It's
this
a
gets
really
destroyed.
important key detail if you were to play against Paleozoics from years ago, or even still today. Certainly, if you go to sign up for a Genesys tournament, very likely actually.
Yeah.
But you want to know that you can essentially
I'll go
chain block
Engrave.
the Paleozoic effect. So a card like DD Crow, which might seem like a somewhat lower impact, because you could pick one out of the graveyard, but it can actually just be used to manipulate chains really well.
You can continue.
Does some great stuff in the advanced format as well. I think duelists familiar with that pace of play, Labyrinth in the old days, but more recently Draco Tail Gulamel. You're always just
so
activating
during,
weird
main
stuff
phase
to
one
keep
still,
that Gulamel
I'll
from
go activate
destroying
Kieran.
another card.
Any good on Kieran?
You're good there.
All right, so we'll destroy Onyx.
Yep.
Summon Kieran.
Yep.
Still on.
At least we're not on half-life points this time for Adrian's sake.
Yeah, you're still in the phase, yeah.
So
Yeah,
activate
Yeah, then we're going to go Skyburn.
Kieran and the.
Medusa.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're good.
Right, so
This
we're
will
gonna
allow
lose
him to
those
special
cards.
summon a Fire King from his graveyard.
Go special
get
summon
back.
Ponix.
Yeah.
Ponix.
And then destroy one card on your field. Yeah.
Another Paleozoic
And
Marilla
Ponix
falls,
effect
and there's a Magicaloid
Good.
slime.
Right.
Magicaloidal
And
slime, excuse me.
solar.
No nicknames for him.
He is an interesting card.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to summon himself back from the graveyard,
We'll just add circle.
conduct, the equivalent of a quick seed or synchro. We haven't really been able to see Adrian take advantage of the fact that he's incorporating this level 2 strategy. It's really just been exchanges with trap cards that I think Raylan is genuinely happy
Good.
about
Right.
because of how much his deck can take advantage and be grindy of one-for-one exchanges. So Adrian's really been put on the back foot, not only in game 1, but here again in game 2. It's wild just to see Grant very slowly just Kieran Ponix, search, over and over use cards like Skyburn. So it's just incremental advantage, but it is whittling Adrian's traps down and making it so that as of at least right now, he might need a lot to get back into this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I see the vision of Adrian's deck, but against a matchup like Fire King that's just coming at you, and its backup plan is to keep coming at you, it is going to be rough. And unlike other decks, you're not off to the races by just drawing this one-card starter because this isn't, Tomb Keeper. You're not going to see the man with the mark just show up and save the day.
Nor are there you can play them if you wanted to. Adrian has elected not to, but some of the pot cards that trap-heavy decks typically have used in the past, he could draw a pot of extravagance off the top, and next thing you know, there's 2 cards, and then that can really snowball. That's just not something that Adrian was able to do underneath the Genesys, point restrictions.
Because that's the thing, the transaction rollback package that we saw, that's very expensive, and then you got your Trapaholics, that's another tick there, and that's what I love about the deck building, because I don't know if you played any like the old Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Boy Advance games, but we did have like a point cap. We did basically have like a power level for your deck here.
This is
Speaking of power levels,
card leaves the field. I draw a card.
Gotcha.
frog time.
Time to go to battle phase.
Oh,
There we go, Poison Draw Frog, the icon himself.
wait a second.
I mean,
He just said it.
Times.
yeah, desperate times. Yeah, well, yeah.
Attack the Kieran for 23.
23, yeah.
This is genuinely speaking not what you would want to do with a Poison Draw Frog.
Effective draw.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
It's a very expensive Upstart Goblin-esque effect.
No, no.
And you use your normal summon, and now the frog is gone.
Okay.
Set a card.
Oh, that better be the best card in the world.
I'm gonna have to. Oh, he did have another.
No.
That's what I was saying.
What
Just
is
these
it?
Skyburns just over and over.
Okay, so he didn't have much anyway. Adrian, a great sport there, but
that one's a
sometimes-
judgment. Would have drawn him 6 or so cards right there. I don't know what if you've been able to do with those 6 or so cards.
Oh, yeah. I remember many World Championships ago, Ryan Yu showing us the power of that particular card and just drawing into everything. And my goodness, as we make history here,
Yeah.
this is a wild format because nobody knows what it could be. This isn't like, no, don't worry, it's not just dominated by Paleozoic and Jirac Fire King. There's a lot of weird stuff in this, and so each Genesys feature match is going to be its own unique story. But cool stuff, really cool stuff. So yeah, at least we got to see Jirac Meteor make an impact.
Yeah, you definitely predicted that before walking in, that card would have a big impact. Basically, regardless of the matchup, it certainly did. A little bit disappointed that I wasn't able to see Totally Awesome hit the field. I feel like if you're going to commentate a Paleozoic matchup in Genesys, you really get to be excited to see that card. Just didn't line up there for Adrian, though.
Yeah, I know it's weird, too. One of the things that's really cool about Genesys is you get to see these forgotten faces that used to be some of the villains of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game.
The
People,
Poison
when they
Draw
play
Frog
against
was a
Totally
villain.
Awesome. Oh, my gosh. And all the Poison Draw Frog combos you were telling us about, that's just some insane stuff. Gosh, but it's interesting to see, we got a little bit of a peek at the entirety of the format. There's so many different decks represented. You want to just tease some of the stuff you saw off the list?
I think I saw one Dragon Ruler deck, which is a little disappointing because that's one of my favorite Genesys decks. So maybe we can get that on the stream. I really would hope that player does well enough. Beyond that, there was a bunch of Archmage, which I thought was a really cool deck. There was plenty of Cool Tune, which I think is a great strategy. A Pearly was a strategy I saw on the list a few times that I'd love to feature. I'm always partial to Pearly.
Well, it's funny you mention a lot of those heroes of the advanced format because, as I hear correctly, we've got advanced format for you right now. So why don't we shift gears, get out of Genesys, and tune into an advanced format match.